Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about some of the things we can be doing in the month of July, and this is one of our hot months. And in the southern part of the state, there's a lot of things that we can be doing. One is with our roses here. We have some spent flowers that are still coming on, so we want to come in and make our cut right above where we have a 5 leaflet leaf there. We're going to take the spent flower. A lot of times this will harbor what we call thrips, a little tiny insect that bothers the bloom and can spread to other unopened blooms on the plant. So we just want to get rid of this flower off the plant. Also, taking this off helps the rose to put more blooms on. So we want to keep these cut off as they become spent. Also, we want to fertilize and deep water our roses so that they are looking good all summer. This heat right now is probably its worst time of the year, and as we start going into the cooler parts of the year, the roses are going to come back on strong with a good bloom. So roses we want to take care of. With our vegetables, one of the things that we see a lot is this is a tomato and pepper set spray, and a lot of times with our tomatoes, they with the lack of humidity and the high heat, our tomato blooms just dry up and fall off. This is an artificial spray that you can put on the bloom that makes the plant think it's been pollinated, been fertilized, and it'll go ahead and produce a fruit. So these need to be sprayed on when the tomato bloom is open, usually the cool part of the morning. Spray it directly into the center of the flower and then just move on, and shortly you'll know whether it's helped out or not, but this is one that you can use. Another thing that we see with our vegetables is blossom end rot. And blossom end rot is where we find a blackened, sunken area on the bottom of the tomato, sometimes on the tip end of the peppers. And this is usually a calcium deficiency in the plant, and these sprays have calcium in them, so when you spray the plant, the calcium's taken into the leaf and helps to boost the calcium level in the plant, which will help to cut back on some of the loss here. So this is another thing that can be used at this time of year. Also, our vegetables need to be fertilized on a pretty regular basis. Tomatoes are a heavy feeder, so they do take a lot of nutrients, a lot of water out of the soil. So putting fertilizer back in, helping them go. There's a lot of commercial fertilizer mixes that can be used, but they do need to be used on a regular basis to keep our vegetables going. Also, with July, it's still not too late to plant some of our warm season vegetables. Some of our bush beans can do quite well. We have some of the herbs like basil that can be grown and will grow well. This is a purple variety, so it gives you a little bit of ornamental value as well. Squash is an excellent plant. It'll grow quite rapidly, and you'll have a good crop of squash on it before frost. So we have the zucchini and the yellowneck. And then corn, sweet corn, is real good to get in this time of year, and it'll mature off as the year begins to get a little cooler. But you do need to have lots of room for the corn in the garden. So those are a couple things we can do. Also, with our lawn areas, we need to look at watering. That's probably one of the most critical things right now. We seem to be getting a lot of calls on brown spots in the yard and the bluish-gray patterns in the yard, and all those are usually drought symptoms in grass. And so just make sure that you are watering the yard good, that you're covering the area, and that water is soaking down to at least a 6 to 8 inch depth in the soil. So make sure you have a good sprinkler, whether it's an in-ground system or something that you pull around on the end of a hose. So we want to make sure we do that. Also, with some of our insects, spider mites and aphids that seem to be a big problem this time of year, a hose-end sprayer is a good way to control those, and a lot of times we can just connect up to the hose and just spray with pure water. And what this thing will do is allow you to give a strong blast of water on the plant. A lot of times you can dislodge the insect, and you've taken care of the problem that way. You can use insecticides, or if you need an insecticidal soap that you can use also to help control them if you can't get rid of them with just a strong blast of water. But again, just a good blast of water, help wash plants off, will keep a lot of the insects at bay. So again, good thing to use, and this one just attaches to the end of a hose. Some of the other things that we can be doing this time of year, again, is just looking at with the July period. It's going to be a hot period, so keeping water on all our plants, whether they're vegetable gardens, fruit trees, ornamentals, you know, whatever. We want to make sure we are watering good. Keep the insect pests under control. Don't let them get the upper hand on you. And again, some of our warm season plants you can get in the ground and get started again. So there's several things we can be doing here in July. So hopefully those tips have helped you, and good gardening this month.